was a comment that was made on Facebook the other day about being a submissive woman. They were saying that a submissive woman controls her man, and I agree with that. I think until we begin to talk in honesty and transparency and stop pandering to both sides, especially to the sisters, because there is so much entitlement, and because men have been quiet for so long, and it's been the men that has been quiet were the type of men that y'all really need to be listening to. The men that doing the most talking ain't the ones, they don't have nothing to say anyway.
What's good? It's your boy Quay Price, man, holding it down for Kandid Konvos. Definitely check us out every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. People today, they lazy. Ain't nobody trying to put in no work. If stuff start getting a little rough in the relationship or in the marriage, ain't nobody trying to fix nothing. Like, I mean, that's how people's mindsets are today. Yeah, but that's how I know that folks don't truly understand what marriage was about, because they tap out way too easy. Yeah, you see people fight harder for a job, like they can't go get another one of them in 2 weeks. Yeah, she's talking about these guys coming to these foreign countries and sourcing out these foreign women because they possess these character traits. Yep, they're more cooperative when it comes to a man, or they're more cooperative when it comes to a marriage and a relationship. They're more, nurturing forward when it comes to a relationship. They're more I don't even want to use the word soft, but I'll use the word soft. They're softer when it comes to, these relationships and interactions with men and so forth. And like I said, we definitely got to be honest. We see a difference, right? We see a difference. And I think, Chloe and Tay made some good points earlier. A lot of this stuff is based around money over here in the West. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Kandid Konvos. I'm your host, Quay Price. We got Coco on deck. Say what's up to the people, Coco.
Hey, everybody.
Oh, you was ready today, huh? Okay. Appreciate it. Shout out to y'all for joining us tonight. If you haven't already, smash that like button. Likes are free. Smash that like button. Also, hit that subscribe. Let's say shout out to all of our new subscribers who've been joining the channel. We appreciate the support. Appreciate you holding us down continually every Wednesday night. But man, if you haven't already, I think we see a lot of our viewers are not subscribers. So we get a lot of folks who watch our content, but they're not subscribers. So let's say hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Like and share. Let's say we want to get this out to as many of our people as possible. All right. Let me do this real quick. All right, here's the link to join us on the panel. You can drop this in your Google Chrome, your Microsoft Edge. If you're coming through an Apple device, you got to use Safari. But man, join us on the panel. Like I said, we will have to vet you before we let you up on the panel. But yeah, join us and let's have this conversation tonight. You know what I'm saying? To move us in a more positive direction. In addition to the video feed, we also have this link in the chat feeds as well. So you can catch it at the Kandid Konvos page on YouTube or Facebook. You got some noise coming through, Coco. I think that's you.
Oh, I do?
Yeah, some type of noise or something coming through.
Okay, sorry. I actually thought I was muted.
All right, here you go. So yeah, like I said, the link is in the video feed here, also in the chat feed. So let's say grab that link, join us on the panel. Okay, I'll lead it up here for a little bit as we get into the conversation. Let me see what we got checking in. Let's see, Donovan. Hey, hello, what up, though? Happy Wednesday. What's going on, Donovan? Appreciate you hopping on with us tonight, holding us down every Wednesday night. See Kenyatta in the building. She said, happy Wednesday. What's going on, Kenyatta? We appreciate you hopping on as well, holding us down. Let's see, you guys consistently support the channel and what we're trying to do. So we appreciate you guys. Just know that. I said, special shout out to y'all. All right, cool. So, we might get right on to it. All right, yeah, we might get right on to it. Let's see. Y'all send me a whole bunch of videos. So we might have to hit these and keep it going. I got a lot down here. All right. So topic for tonight. Man, what is happening to men? Run that back. Topic for tonight. What is happening to men? Okay. I said once again, smash that like button if you haven't already. Smash that like button. All right. Let's go and get on to the first one. Let's see what we get.
I think young men need guidance around how to express romantic interest while making the other person feel safe. This is one of the most frightening stats I've seen. According to Pew, more than 50% of men between the ages of 18 and 24 have never asked a woman out in person. I just find that so upsetting and rattling, because that means they're either not asking people out or they're asking them out online, where quite frankly, they can't demonstrate any sense of excellence. And I think the beautiful thing about human sexuality is sometimes you don't even know why you're attracted to someone. You like the way they smell. You find out they're funny. And that happens in person. But we need more third spaces, more places people can meet. And also, I actually think it would be helpful to have in the senior year of high school a class called Adulting, where amongst other things, you teach them about the interest rate on a credit card. And also, quite frankly, I think young men need guidance around how to express romantic interest while making the other person feel safe. And also, that if you express romantic interest and ask someone out for coffee and they say no, you're both going to be fine. You haven't committed a crime against humanity as long as you're respectful and you don't make the person feel uncomfortable. But men aren't even asking women out. Everything.
You know, let me hold on. Let me slide that back for a hot second. Let me just catch something he just said.
Guidance around how to express romantic interest while making the other person feel safe. This is one of the most frightening stats I've seen. According to Pew, more than 50% of men between the ages of 18 and 24 have never asked a woman out in person. I just find that so upsetting and rattling, because that means they're either not asking people out or they're asking them out online, where quite frankly, they can't demonstrate any sense of excellence. And I think the beautiful thing about human sexuality is sometimes you don't even know why you're attracted to someone. You like the way they smell. You find out they're funny. And that happens in person. But we need...
Okay. All right. I got it. Okay. So, yeah. So we talking tonight, what is happening to the men? All right. Shout out to this gentleman. I'm not sure what this gentleman's name is, but shout out to him for dropping his knowledge on this particular conversation. So, yeah. So drop a comment. Let me know what y'all think. What do y'all think is going on with the fellas? Why do you think that they are not approaching the young ladies anymore? Why do you think that, man, what has changed? Yeah, what has changed? What has changed between the interaction between men and women? Yeah, what has changed? Why would the young folks or the young fellas be saying essentially what, based on what that gentleman is saying, is basically the young fellas are saying, you know what, I'm good. Like, why would that be happening? Yeah, we're gonna have to get into that. Let me get this comment from Donovan. Let's see. Donovan said traumas. Is that all it is, Donovan? Is that all it is that would make a young fella, say, I think he said 18 to 24, that would make a young fella say that he's not going to engage with these young ladies, or he's not going to approach these ladies in 2025? You think it's just traumas? Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. See, Diamond also said, "Mama coddled." Okay, some of that can be wrapped in there as well. To this comment here, I would just say, what has changed? Yeah, young fellas couldn't wait to get away from mom so they can get out here and do their thing. So once again, what has changed?
Mm-hmm.
See, Kenyatta said, let's see, some don't want to be bothered with the drama. Some don't want rejection. Drama and rejection. Okay, I'm taking notes. Appreciate that comment right there. Let's see. Shout out to Marjorie in the building. She said, men are tired of being called pervs and creeps.
That part. I would have to agree. I would have to agree because I think, okay, what you got? I would have to agree because we can't ignore the fact that women have taken on this sort of attitude that they don't want to be bothered in spaces anymore. Like they don't want to be bothered. They don't want to be bothered. They're like, I'm out grocery shopping. This isn't the time. I'm at the gym. This isn't the time. I'm in the mall trying to shop. This isn't the time. I'm hanging out with my girlfriends. This isn't the time. And I'm like, well, when is the time? You're always going to be somewhere doing something. That was the point. We when we were outside, we wanted to be approached, right?
Right.
Sometimes we would even put ourselves in places where we could be approached, where we knew there would be men. So you not wanting to be bothered when you're out in public, when literally that's when you get the most exposure. It's crazy to me. Like, I don't understand it, but women are in this space now where they don't want to be bothered. They're like, he bothered me when I was at the grocery store. Sis, you're offended because he saw you in your natural element and still thought you were attractive enough to approach. Like, that's a compliment. I don't know why you're offended by that.
Right.
Because I know I'm not always tip top when I'm at the grocery store. I am trying to shop. You know what I'm saying? But he knows you're in your natural element. And honestly, I think guys can appreciate that, right? So I think it's just crazy. We make it really difficult. I don't think that we understand that our attitudes make it really difficult for men to feel comfortable enough to approach us. And that's a big part of it. And then also, I think my second point is, I think the younger people too, because they are so digital first, like everything is digital first. So even the way they meet people, they have whole conversations. They build friendships online, like through games and all of that. So like they are just used to meeting people that way. And honestly, I think they've gotten a little too comfortable meeting people that way. And so when it's time to actually go out and have a real conversation with a real person, I just don't think they're as socialized as we were. That's all.
Okay. No, I appreciate that right there. See, Beatboxer hopped on. What's going on, fellas? Vince in the building, JR in the building. Y'all want to say anything on this at all? Just come off mute if you want to say something. Why you think the young fellas, basically, what's going on with the young fellas? Why are young fellas not moving like young fellas used to move? You're like, what has changed? What's got young fellas putting their hands up saying, you know what, I'm not doing nothing with it? Like, what's happening? Both of y'all off mute. Either one of y'all go ahead.
Yeah, let me just say one for you to add to the list, and Beatboxer can take it. Arseholes, pardon my language. Women are arseholes. That's the main factor towards men. Go on, Beatboxer.
I was literally about to say that. The problem, there's a couple of issues. I see some of the things Donovan Crawford has said in the chat. I disagree with a lot of it. I mean, he's saying fear and failure. it's not really fear of failure. Like we as men, especially young men, you learn about failing all the time. That's not really the issue. The issue is the juice worth the squeeze? Like, is it worth me talking to this chick and then she like is acting mean to me for no reason? Um, and I will say this too, something that doesn't really get talked about a lot. Women walk up to guys all the time. So that happens often. So I'll say, especially in my lived experience, I haven't had to just walk up to chicks like that. That hasn't been really an issue. Doesn't mean that they don't make it obvious, right? Like, but it's not something where I gotta pursue and talk to, because I'm not. And also, my personality is, I'm not doing all that. Like, you either like me or you don't. I'm not going around trying to figure. If you have just a regular stank face, I'm not walking up to you. I'm not talking to you. I'm not doing it. I'm not wasting my time. I'm not. There's so many other things to do. There's so many other things to see. I'm not gonna like waste my time walking up to somebody if I can't tell if you like me or not. No way. And I'll close with this. I have this happened to me twice, and these were girls that I knew. Like we were friends. I saw them. It's literally the same scenario. So I'm at a Walmart of all things. Start talking to them. They clammed up. Didn't look at me. So I just walked away. Then they looked. Oh, hey, blah, blah, such and such. Hey, how you doing, beatbox? I didn't know it was you. I was like, what? Yeah, well, what you just did was rude. So I was like, well, I didn't know. I was like, nah. We're in a public place. Like, we're not in some alley. Like, there are people around here. There's people who are looking at you now because you just kind of caused a scene that people are looking at me crazy. Because now I look like a threat, right? So I look, especially in this country, I'm a big black dude. Talking to you, you're ignoring me, clamming up. Now it's gotten kind of awkward. So yeah, like that happens to guys a lot. And younger generation, we're not doing all that. There's Pornhub and all that. There's so many things to do. So I'm just saying, I'm not doing all that.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Hold on.
Oh my God!
I ain't letting that slide through, beatboxer. Hold on, man. Hold on. So you telling me that the young fellas, because I know we got a spread of ages on the panel right now. So I saw Vince hop on here. I said I'm an old head myself. So you telling me, as the young fellas, because that's about half of y'all on here. So the young fellas, y'all say that hollering at the females is a waste of time. Essentially, especially if she playing games. So I understand the playing game part, but overall, y'all kind of look at the engagement process to a woman kind of as a waste of time, especially in current day. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, there's too many things that could go wrong. Women are choosing the bear over the men. It's no thank you. Like there's things where like we're like listening. Men are not stupid. We hear what you ladies are saying. We hear it. We're not gonna be like, and most of these ladies have some form or fashion of that concept, right? So some women might be really extreme about it. Men in general are just bad people. Some women might be like a little less extreme, but it's all over the place. And as a man, it's like, it's just a bad idea. It's just a bad idea.
Let me hold on a minute. Look, this is about to get interesting. Where OG Vince at? Hold on. Let me see if I can get Vince up here. If he ain't Vince, you down there, man? Come off mute. Or you tied up?
Yes, sir.
Tell me something, Vince. Did you look at it as wasting time when we was hollering at the females back in the day? How did you look at that?
It was a little bit different back, and that's why I didn't really say much, because it's a different generation now, with this whole social media. And I mean, my son is going to prom this year, and I'm like, are you going to dance? Or are you just going to stand around and play in your phone?
Right.
Why are we going to get a tux and get fitted for you to stand around with your goofy little guy friends and be on your phone? Are you going to dance? Are you going to ask a young lady to dance? I don't know if he's going with a date or not. I don't know. Probably not, because I think it's next in May. So, like, are you at least going to dance? They don't even dance anymore. They just stand around and play on their phones. So we were a lot more social back then. A lot more social.
So let me ask you this. Has y'all keep it honest with me? Has the attract? Let's keep it a buck. has the attraction for the opposite sex, has it diminished? Like as fellas, is they just not checking for the females like that no more? As the females, is they just not checking for the fellas? Like that natural piece.
I think it's diminished because it's too many perceived options. You know, we only dated the girls that were in our neighborhood that we can really touch. Now you can find somebody online and they in a whole nother school across the city, or you can find somebody that way, or so. I think it's a lot more perceived options. So when you think you got a lot of options, you don't think it's a big deal.
Okay, I get that. That makes sense. That makes sense. Go ahead, Cole. I saw you poke that little finger up. What you want to say? Come off mute.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. To the comment, I get that there's a lot of options, but I guess even still, is the end goal still the same?
What you
Like
mean
it should,
to get the
it
other
shouldn't.
person?
Yeah, like it shouldn't matter. I guess to me, I don't think it should matter how many options there are. Like I don't think that really come into play if you looking to still have a family by a certain time frame and have children and all of that.
So no, I understand. I understand what you're saying there, because I understand both sides of the options conversation. But at the root of it all, keep it a buck, Cole. In 2025, is y'all still feeling the fellas like y'all used to?
I mean, I do.
You stuttering. See, I can hear it. You stuttering.
I'm not stuttering, but I be in the house. So I mean,
She gotta be six.
maybe I'm
feet.
the wrong person to ask.
What you
I'll
say,
be in
B
the
Box?
house.
He gotta be 6
He gotta
feet.
be 6 feet. Remember, he gotta be 6 feet.
Oh.
I'm not saying
that.
I'm not saying nothing. Okay.
No, I'm just wondering, because I said I'm wondering at the root of it. Are people just not feeling each other like they used to? Like, you know, to Vince's point, you know, a lot of these little young fellas now, they grouped up with the fellas.
I find that weird.
Like,
I'm just saying it's super sus. Like
I feel you, but that's what we said. Like that's you think like I mean, let me paint you a scenario, right? Like the way it used to look is you would go into a venue and it's like guys was trying to engage with women, you know, like Coco said earlier, women was trying to be engaged on. You know what I'm saying? Now you go into venues and like Vince just said, you're gonna see a whole bunch of dudes grouped up, you're gonna see females grouped up, but ain't nobody interacting like that. Like it doesn't look like it used to. Guys ain't walking in buying drinks like they used to. You know, the women ain't trying to be approached like they used to. You know, women used to sit up there at that bar with that same little sex on the beach, whatever they were sipping on, trying to give you that eye from across the room to let you know you can come on over and spit your little game, as you know what I'm saying, the old folks used to say. But it's like, is that even happening anymore? Like, is that whole social approach each other vibe, is that still even popping like it used to?
No, you got to get through the opposite sexes, like crowd, a group of friends first before you get the person.
Uh-oh.
I got a question about that. I got a question about that.
Amen.
Because you're right. You're right. She's right. You do have to get through that, especially if you're a man, right? Like, but okay. I'm not saying I agree with the new way of thinking that some of our young men have developed, where they group up all the time. Every activity got to be grouped up. They always have to be grouped up. But at the same time, I will say this, okay? Y'all doing that too. You single women, y'all are vacationing together. And listen, I don't say single women like it's a bad word. I'm just saying women who are single, y'all tend to vacation together. You tend to brunch together, club, all of that, everything together. And I'm not even saying y'all can't. I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying if that's the case, because those are your friends, right? And that's how you entertain. You entertaining with your friends. That's what you're doing, right? So then maybe the fellas are like, well, we single too. So we call our buddies and we at the bar and You know, we playing golf and we basketball and we doing that too. So I guess why is it that it's suspect when a man and his buddies get together and they hang out because they're single and they kicking it? Why is it suspect? Hey girl, hey. Why is it suspect for them, but then for women, it's expected for women to be together, and then y'all don't want to be bothered when y'all together? I'm not saying you do this, Cole, but I'm curious. Why do you think that is?
Can I jump and add one more thing, too? By the way, to Coco's point,
This ain't just
a young man problem either, because there's a lot of times where like dating coaches have talked about older people getting together and how there's like 50 women and only 2 dudes. I got one guy's name. There was like he had like a dating coach thing for like 50-year-old men and up, women and up. No, like only 2 dudes showed up. So across the street there was a whiskey tasting. He went out to the whiskey tasting. There's a bunch of guys there. He said, "Hey, come to this, come to this." They're like, "We're not doing that." They're like, we're drinking whiskeys and smoking cigars. Good luck. So this isn't just like a young people thing. Men, older men are saying, "No, thank you. I'd rather drink and smoke," and amongst other things.
No, I can understand that, but the reason why I say that, because my man in the video, he was talking about basically they're seeing this between 18 to 24. So just based on the stats that, the stat and range he was providing, we talking about the more young fellas, right? But even to, Coco's point, with a lot of the females now, they want to group up. And it's like that has even changed, right? So the females from my generation, yeah, they would do the little hook up with the girls for a quick minute. But after that, they like, nah, we can cut that on out. Let me get around some of these dudes. So it's like, now I hear all type of nonsense, galentines and all type of nonsense going on now. I'm like, it's like girls want to be around girls all day long. And that used to be the opposite when I came through. It was like they did short spurts with other girls. The short spurt. Yeah, we go hang out, get something to eat. Okay, sis, I gotta let you go. My guy just hit me up. I gotta go. Like, but see, now it looks different. Yeah, been the same with the guys. Now the guys like, hey, I got this little thing over here. She trying to do a little something, but I'm on the game. And it's just like, wait a minute. So this didn't look like this when I came through. I said, let's couple old heads on here. I said, I'm an old head, Vince an old head, Herschel, we old heads. This didn't look like this when we came through. It was like, forget that game, bro. I got a little something. I got a little mission I got to run real quick. I'll be back. So this didn't look like this, man. So I'm just trying to understand, like I said, what has changed? What's breaking down? Yeah, why are we not going for the opposite sex like we used to? Like something has changed. Go ahead, Joe. I saw you come off, man.
So I'm between you so-called old heads and the 18 to 24 younger demographic that the man spoke about in the video. And I know I saw when the change happened, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, but I was old enough to be out all the time, pay phones, you had to actually know the streets and all these things. So you was always outside. You was acclimated to being socialized naturally because that's all we had to do. But then when I became around 18, 19 or 20ish, that's when the internet came about. And the one addiction that every man knows here that a lot of men have fell under is corn addiction. And so because of that, they replaced that natural socialization that I grew up as a kid prior to the internet exploding to what it is now. And that 18 to 25 demographic today has been introduced to that kind of content at much younger ages than I was, which for me was like around 14, 15. But by then, I had plenty of years before that. And it was still new. It was too slow. It was frustrating. Oh man, this is not going to do it. I'm just going to talk to a real girl. So it took the internet a couple of more years before the internet became fast enough to where now it becomes the computer screen becomes your girl. Your girl becomes your right hand. And so as a result, over years and years and years, you go out into the public as a young man. Now you're 20, 21, 22. You don't know how to talk to a real woman because you've only had a parasocial relationship with a woman towards a black screen. So a lot of that, I would say the majority of it, is because they get anxiety. They don't know what to do when they're in front of a real woman as opposed to one that isn't talking back to them on their computer or uh, telephone. Um, so that's the big one. So number two, in terms of the women's side, they have not been affected by corn nearly as much, if at all, to the same degree. However, um, they've become much more antagonistic towards men who make the attempts to try to talk to them. They
Okay.
if they really don't like you, it's not enough to say no, thank you. It's I'm going to embarrass you. I'm going to show you, and I'm going to laugh about it with my friends. You will get clowned on. This has happened to me before, and that one time, if that happens to a man, it can put him off, and then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. He'll go back to the computer screen. He goes back to porn because women don't really like me, but I still am attracted to women. So what do? I'll just go to the I'll just go back to where I'm comfortable because actual women aren't showing me the affection and love or even the respect that I, as a man, feel like I should have, but don't. So women have become much more aggressive. And lastly, they know what to do. If they like a guy, when I've changed a few things, I figured out, okay, this is what women know how to do certain things to where a man will feel encouraged and inspired to go talk to a woman. She's not putting the onus on him to do to take all of the risk. Oh, I'm gonna put it all on the line, and then oh no, I got a boyfriend. Oh, I don't want you. I don't want to. So if a woman likes a man, all she has to really do is look at him a certain way, bump into him. We get the hints. It can't be, oh well, did he not know that I like him? Well, you didn't give him anything to show him that you do, because women are the ones who are in control. They're the ones who are in control of, like, they open up and then we can be allowed in unless it's by force. So they have to kind of give us the clue. A man who takes the initiative all the time, he's definitely a player. He's the type of guy, if he's got accustomed to being rejected all the time and he's getting a lot of women because he's very aggressive with it, yeah, he's going to get you and a lot of other women, but he's never going to be committed to you because it's a game. He had to learn how to
Right.
play the game. So if women just simply say, hey, listen, I like you, talk to you, hey, what's your name? You say, we'll get it. Oh, she's interested in me. And that's it. But they just want a man to just approach and be like 100% like, dude, yeah, but a minute, yeah, we get it. But like, we're going to come 80%. Give us 20%. Give us
I get you.
something,
I
something to
got you.
chew on. So, and lastly, it's very different. But at the same time, it's very different in Brazil. It is like I was transported back to the 90s and the early 2000s. They have the same technology we do, same exact, if not better. And yet somehow they're able to reel it all in when they go to a social event, when they go to a club, a lounge, a dance event, when they go to the beach. The phones are not out. They're not on their phones. Their phones in some cases are home. They're walking about as if it was the 90s again, but they all have the technology to do the same things that we do here. So I don't know why that is. I think maybe they just value uh, socializing, community, and culture, whereas America, we value um, modern technology, the newest gadget, the newest Apple iPhone. They don't give a shit about
Right.
that. Their Apple iPhones is probably like Apple 8, Apple 7. We're thinking about what's iPhone 20 is going to be like. That's the
No, I
difference.
got you.
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, they out here. Yeah, they out here living life, man. So yeah, I can understand that. So basically, we're saying that the young ladies are not, to a certain extent, reciprocating. They're not giving confirmation that is cool for you to approach and do what you do. So I can appreciate that. That's the point right there. Let me check in with Herschel real quick. I know he just hopped on. It's another one of the OGs right here. Let me just see what he say. Herschel, man, tell me what you think, man. Why you think these young fellas, why they not moving like they used to? Why they not hollering at the young ladies like they used to? What you think it is?
Man, they're not it. I mean, they're not interested in them,
Uh,
or it's just so if we're talking, so the dynamics we're talking about right now are like more so like teenagers or young adults, or actually
18 to 24 was the range that the guy gave in the video.
okay. Well, I mean, that's that generation. there's two things in my opinion. So one thing I was just going to say this. I don't know if anybody said this stat at all, whatever, but I was kind of surprised when I found out the stat about 55% of like black males at that are single. So that's like
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's crazy. But but I think there's a lot of things going on. Like, it's still the ongoing agenda where we just try, where it's like the society and the government tries to like, keep the man, out of the home. You know what I'm saying? And just have to like make the men seem like not desirable, for women to benefit. That's one thing. But I think on the other thing is like I'm noticing also it's just a level of masculinity that's just leaving, and I'm gonna say this, so I'm not trying to be sexist or anything, but like masculinity is needed, just like femininity is needed. And you can even take it to same-sex couples. Like, for example, two guys, whatever, one of them, or maybe if not both, they're gonna want somebody to be masculine to a certain extent, meaning like
facts.
Kill the bugs, mow the lawn, take the trash out. Even with lesbians, you know what I'm saying? They want somebody in the home has to do like a masculine role. So, but masculinity is needed, but it's like in this newer genre of things, and the generations, it's like they're kind of like steering away from it, and I'll give you guys one example and then I'll cut it short. So like literally today I was at my mom's house, me and my son, and when I get there, my mother's like, hey, do you want to try on this jacket, you or your son want to try on this little windbreaker? She had bought a windbreaker for herself from Target. It's a black one, real thing, and it was oversized for her. It was a size small. She said she got it from the men's section because there was nothing in the women's section. So what she claimed it was not a woman's small, it was a men's small. So I told her, my son, he wear a medium. I don't even wear a small. I had him try it on, and it was like kind of short at the the waistline, this and that, but the sleeves was like long. I'm like, what the heck going on with this jacket? So what's wrong with this thing? So he took it off, whatever. I'm checking out the little sleeves, and I peeped, and it's the sleeves that have the little hole. You put the thumbs out, and I don't know, the things that cover your hands or something like that. But this was
about that, man.
me. Men, what I thought was men don't know nothing about that.
No, that's not typical for men's clothing.
Yeah. So, but it was in the men's section, my mother said, and it was like a bunch of them. So it's like, I don't know. It's like, I feel like it was an agenda, like to not, like we didn't even know, we couldn't even determine the gender of the clothing.
I feel I feel what you say.
So, so I'm thinking that's what's kind of trickling in, where it's like a balance, like a straight line where you can't even determine what's feminine, what's masculine. You don't even know. And a lot of the younger generation are just they were raised on that. You know what I'm saying? So like you said, like they're not even into, it's like asexual type stuff in a way. Like they're not even really into the other gender like that no more. If not, they're into the same. You know what I'm saying? That's another view from it. That's not the only reason, but that's my perspective of it.
No, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's one of them lessons. I had to ask the OGs. I said, we got some young fellas on the panel tonight. I got to ask the OGs, see what they say. All right, let me keep going, man, because y'all sent those. So I got so many videos down here, man. I'm just gonna keep going, man, and we'll hit them and move, and we'll hit them and move.
With a guy, a high status male, she can have sex with him, which gives her the impression that's her weight class for a relationship, but he's not interested in a relationship. And then she basically decides the bottom 90 are no longer in her weight class. And you can't tell a woman to lower her expectations, but the reality is, and what the data I've seen on dating apps, is that all of the women want the same few guys, and they shut out the rest.
Yeah, okay, so there's a few things I'll respond to there. So one, going back to the income graph, I want to just call out that, yes, right now in a few urban markets, women are making more than men. So women in DC and New York under 30 are making more than men on average, but in most situations, men are still making more than women, but we're talking about a projection. Going back to the dating research. So yes, it's exactly as you described. What we have right now is there's fewer and fewer men that are hypergamous mates for women. So if there's a much smaller pool of guys, then what you have is you have a bunch of women competing for the same men, and then a bunch of guys get ignored. But what I also see is that those top guys are having a hard time deciding. So I feel like in my coaching practice as a dating coach, I'm working with a lot of women who say, what do I do? I've changed my profile the way you said I should. I took your class, but I still feel like there's just not enough great guys. And then I work with these CEO men who are having such a hard time choosing. And so I think we really have this exacerbated problem where so many women are competing for the same men, and then a bunch of guys are getting ignored. And then what ends up happening is, where do those guys go? And they go online. That's what you see.
They go to porn.
They go to porn, or they go to Reddit. They're really going to some of these red-pilled communities. And so what you're seeing now is just men really opting out of society. So when you go back to that stat, 1 in 7 young men in the UK is NEET, not an employment, education, or training. They have just opted out.
Okay, let me get this comment real quick. Let's see. Shout out to I am Twan 2 in the building. He said, let's see, why is that even relevant to mention? Make more than men in a few states when that's a minority. It's a good question, I am Twan 2. That comes up. Yeah, this whole back and forth about women making more than men and all that always comes up. So no, that's a great observation. Yeah, what I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why we keep doing that, because I think the stats overall say that the men are still making more. So I don't know why we keep. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. But good question. I appreciate that comment right there. So yeah, so y'all saw video number 2. Let's say it was from the same conversation, same folks. So now we saying that it's a small pool of men. Small pool of men out here. So I'm coming straight to Cole. Cole, you know this got your this question for you.
No.
So Cole, is it a
Absolutely not.
is it a small pool of men? Is that what's going on? So we talking, saying what's going on with these fellas tonight. So is it a small pool? Do you see that out here? Give me your opinion on that. What you seeing?
Is it a small pool of?
Yes, is it not that many good dudes out here to choose from? Let me phrase it that way.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Go on, keep it a buck. We going there. Go on, keep it a buck.
You have to define good, okay? You gotta define good. Everybody's good ain't.
Oh, come
good.
on.
Come
Is
on,
water
Everybody's
bro.
good,
wet?
not
Is the sky
good,
blue?
man. Huh?
Is water wet? Is the sky blue? You know what he's asking. You know what he's asking.
Oh, Lord.
Come
All
on,
I
Cole.
can what? All I can say, all I can say is I do think a lot of women, well, it's on both sides. A lot of women and men be going for like the same type of person. And on both sides they be leaving like the average person out. To me, that's what I see. That's what I see.
Okay.
Do I think there's a good pool of men? I still think there are, but I think at this point, like I guess finding them or knowing where to meet them is difficult.
Okay. So let me ask you this, Cole, based on something you just said. So
Oh, Lord.
I know earlier we were talking about some of these guys. So they moving a little different these days. Yeah, they're
Mhm.
not going out and spitting, as we say, spitting game and all that. They're not moving like they
Mm-mm.
used to, right? So just based on what you just said, that also sounds like a change in the women as well. So you just said that it seems like, I'm saying, a lot of ladies out here are going for the same guy, but then they kind of disregarding the average guy, essentially the pool of men where there's more men in the pool, right?
Mhm.
So my question to that would be is, why would a woman today not veer away from what the other women are doing? So like back in the day, a woman, I said, and I know Coco on the panel, she can speak to this as well. A woman back in the day sometimes would say to herself, okay, I see all these females going after this dude. I don't want that dude. So let me go find another guy who all the females ain't going after, because I know he ain't out here on that nonsense. His head ain't swole up. He might have something popping. Let me go check out another dude. Since all the chicks is looking after the popular dude, let me go find the other non-popular, as we would call him today, the nerdy guy or the nice guy. Let me go find him and get with him, because see, he gonna be the one down the road that's gonna have it popping for real, not the dude that all the other chicks is on right now. So why, in your opinion, why do you think that's going on? Why do you think a lot of the ladies are lining up for these same dudes, but they're not having that thought, well, my dude might be over here getting himself situated?
I'm gonna just say I don't know, because I'm more of the person that goes for the less popular person.
Okay.
So I don't know. And I was hoping that strategy will work, but my observation, even them dudes coming with some issues and problems and a little bit of a extra ego. I'm keeping it real, but it's my experience. I'm like, wait, hold on, like, what?
Oh, wait, so you saying the average dudes are tripping? Is that what you're saying?
Some been tripping, but again, that's my experience. I'm not gonna put my experience on nobody.
Let me come to beatbox. I need to hear from beatbox on this. Beatboxer, man, what you think about what Cole is saying, man? Is she making sense? What's going on, man?
She's doing that sign language. She's not really answering that question.
I did.
No, you danced around. You danced around it like you moonwalked around it like Michael Jackson. You didn't really answer it. You didn't want to set off a bomb. I think you don't think there are. That's just me personally. You just won't say it. But I mean, there's plenty of good dudes out there. It's just that the stats show that a lot of women are looking for the same guy. So not all women are, but a decent amount of women are hypergamous. So they have this thought that, well, if I make this certain amount of money and I have a certain amount of education, then I should get a man who's equal to that. And I always tell ladies like that, you should look in the mirror. Look in the mirror, and that's what you're probably gonna get. Your money and all that means nothing. Like and you gotta say it like that, because a lot of these ladies are delusional. Like, well, I'm around these guys. Like, I work in finance, so I'll hear this. Well, how can I get this guy to like me? How can I? Look in the mirror? Seriously, just look in the mirror. Did these guys will have sex with you? Yes. Like,
Yep, all day, no problem.
they will do that, but take you seriously? No. And that's even average. I'll give Cole a pass on this. Even average guys would do that. I agree with you, right? I'm not gonna, because that's true. So, yeah, like at the end of the day, like, women get killing themselves with the hypergamy thing, killing themselves with that. Just because you have a certain education doesn't mean you should be dissing like the plumber or the electrician, the mechanic. Like, that's crazy to me. Those guys also can make a lot of money. So, or the way he looks. Like, I mean, listen, if he doesn't make you tingle, that's one thing. Like, I get that, but like I said, you kind of have to like have like expectations that are like equal to what you look like, ladies. No offense. That's just what it's got. That's just what it's going to be. So, and because we're not going to change on that, unless there's some men on this panel who disagree with me. But men in general, we're not sacrificing the looks piece. That's not going to happen. If you don't look good, you have a heart of gold. That's great. You could be my friend, but I'm not going to date you or marry you. So,
I think that let me ask something as somebody who's a little bit older. I think that's true, but it's also your attitude. Because I see a lot of attractive men with very average women, and they're not cheating on them with other women, but they're a good wife, they're a good mother, and that's what's important to them. Now, they're not a 2, they might be a good 6.5. But it's the attitude that's messing a lot of these women up. then they want these certain type of guys. And I heard it from a lady that was on a panel, and like, you don't even know what these type of men need. Well, I get the whole looks thing, but it's also, you have to really be a helpmeet. You have to be able to really partner with. I hate to use the word partner, but in this case, it's true. Partner with that man and understand his needs. Most people are selfish. And so these women get this money, they get this, then it's my goals, it's my dreams, we're a partnership. These men want wives. They don't need no partner. They don't need. I hate to hear women over 40 talking about building with somebody. If he ain't got it already, what you talking about building with? Y'all 40 years old. He has to be ambitious. He has to be this. He has to be at 40.
You tired? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. No, I'm just saying that.
You tired at that point, like
if he a truck driver for Pepsi, he don't want to. If he a truck driver for Pepsi at 40, he's good with being a truck driver for Pepsi at 40. He don't want to own no more. You know what I'm saying? These ladies, well, I want him to be ambitious and go out there. Okay, if that's the case, then you're 40 years old, he ain't got no time for you. Men who make the type of money you talking about, they don't have no time. So you're gonna be sitting at the house by yourself, and you might get them once a day. Will you rather have that, or would you rather have the average man that's working for Pepsi and y'all able to Netflix and chill and spend a little time together? They want it all. That's the problem. They want it all, and they're not willing to settle for anything less because they don't feel like they have to. As far as a relationship. Now, and it's crazy because a lot of these same ladies who got all these standards, they smashing bums. That's the funny thing, I think. You got all these standards, but I know who you sleeping with. And he ain't got nothing.
Amen, Vince. Amen.
So all these standards is for the dudes they don't like. I agree with Beatbox. These are all these standards, and he got to do those for the dudes he don't like. They don't like. Excuse me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's some validity around it. I think we've seen enough examples and cases of that going on. So yeah, the standards. I don't know why, but the standards go out the door when it come to that piece. I don't know what that's about.
Can I say one thing about that? Because I want to make this clear too.
Go ahead, man.
Because Vince, I actually agree that you added that piece because I agree with you. But also for women and standards, there's exceptions. And like Coco, for example, I would believe Coco is like, this is the standard. This is what's going to be. It don't matter who you are. This is the standard, right? But women like Coco are a dying breed. So that's really the issue. I think a lot of women think that most women are like very, what's the word? I can't speak of the word. Like they're all on point. Like they're all like we all have standards for the same people. And I think a lot of men, y'all got this twisted. Most women aren't like that. Most women will fluctuate. It's a sliding scale. If you look a certain way and you hitting it a certain way, you in. But if you're not,
I'm done.
Then they're I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. If you're not, then you have to pay. And you'll see this on Kendra G's show all the time. Like, oh yeah, I got two babies by two baby daddies, two babies by two baby daddies, and they got to get it for free. But this man's got to make $100K, and no, that's not going to happen. That's crazy. There's very few women who are like going to stand on something forever. It's very few because if he makes it tingle.
Man, that tingle, man. I'm so tired of hearing about this tingle, man. Go ahead, Coco. You want to say something real quick? Because I'm going to keep running us through these videos. Go ahead, Coco.
Okay. I was just going to say real quick, like the point that she made about some of the men, those men who do fall in that category that women are after, that, I don't know, 1%, 10%, whatever it is, saying that they're having difficulty choosing. Yeah, I want to just talk about that for just a second, right? Like, is it that these men are having a problem choosing, or is it that it's the options that they have available to them? Because let's talk about it. If every girl wants that guy, that means the average girl wants that guy, the above average girl wants that guy, and just the bottom of the barrel chick actually think she in there too. Because she didn't have onesie, like she said, she didn't have one or two of those dudes give her some attention. She'd had one or two of those dudes sleep with her. So now she's like, oh, okay, this my pay grade. But like my man was saying, no, it's different. Like they will knock you down, but that doesn't necessarily mean you would be wifey or even like a serious girlfriend. That doesn't mean that, right? But if all of these women from all the groups are all saying they want this guy, is it that the guy is struggling to choose because he has so many options? Or is it because he like, these are my options? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, just saying, I'm just entering a different perspective because I don't think it's always that the guys don't know. I think men, when they find what they want, are pretty, settled with that. But yeah, I just had to drop that. I had to drop that in there.
Okay, appreciate that, JR. I saw you hop off, man. Go ahead, JR.
Yeah, I was gonna say to Miss Coco's second point. Did you add my point to the list, Mr. Evans? Sorry, Mr. Price.
Say that again.
I said to Miss Coco's second point. Did you add my point? The one I mentioned at the start to your list.
What you mean, man? Go. What you mean?
Yeah. So basically, what Miss Coco is insinuating is, like I said, these women are assholes. Pardon my language.
Oh, I got you.
They're just horrible people. That's it. End of the day, they're just nasty people to be around. Like, but for the guys that can deal with women, like I always say, if you got the XP, you still deal with them, but you just understand what comes with it.
Okay, straight like that. Straight like that. So you gonna come drop that bomb, come off mute, drop the bomb, and go back on mute. I see what it is, JR. Go ahead, Joe.
Go ahead.
Who was that? It's two of y'all.
I wanted to say something right quick.
Go ahead.
I was just out in Las Vegas with my future brother-in-law and his partners. Now I felt so I had to trim my beard because I didn't want to be mistaken for their daddy. I'm gonna say between 30, about 29 and about 36. I was there for a bachelor party. And those guys, college educated, yada, 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 yada. All of them were married. And I think with men on that level, the men that most women want, when they want to get married, they will find a wife. It's not going to take them 10 years because they know what they want. They know what their deal breakers are, and they're going to find what they want. I think the men who might want to get married, might not want to get married, don't come from marriage. I think those are the guys maybe who are having problems in choosing. And is it choosing for marriage or choosing for a relationship? When a man is looking for a wife, it's a totally different choosing that they go through. So it's a totally different woman that they're looking for. They're looking for a wife. They're not looking for a girlfriend. They're not looking for a good time. So I think that's the thing too. And I think that a lot of these women, they, just like I said, they need to start looking earlier because the man that they really want, smart men get married. That I see. The most successful men I know are married. It just is because it's a more settled life. You can do business a little bit better because the married man just looks better in the business world than a single player. It just is what it is. So I think a lot of these ladies, they hit that wall at 33, 34, and then the guys that they really want are married. And so, you're going to have to, settle. You're going to have to settle.
Not settle, Vince.
You got to settle.
So hold that thought. Let me like I said, I'm shotgunning these videos tonight. So I'm gonna throw another one in right behind that, and then I'm gonna be looking at Cole in a minute. So let me throw this next one in here.
It's real short and sweet. Men control marriage. Men control marriage. So when we have the conversation of why so many Black women are single, the reason is because most Black women only want to date black men. And the issue with that is that most black men do not want to be married. They don't value marriage. They don't value commitment. They don't value family as a collective group. So this is why most black women are single and have never been married. However, what I find interesting is when black women open up their options and decide to venture outside the race, a lot of them actually get married. Did you hear what I just said?
She's wrong.
When black women decide to go outside the race, she finally gets married. Let that sink in.
I love when they start. I love so sarcastically love when they just be all animated like a little caricature, opening their mouth speaking like they really saying something, and a bunch of nothing is coming out. Like a bunch of nothing. Where did she get those stats from? And I'm not even a data girly, but where did she get the stats that women who automatically go outside their race are getting married? Where is that stat at? Like somebody for real. I mean, where's that?
It doesn't
I haven't
exist.
seen that one.
Those few little actresses and athletes that, you know, the Venus Williams and the Eves and those very few women that can do, you know, that can sleep with Stevie J and still get a prince or whatever her husband do.
I just don't understand.
Or Venus who can date Common and get the owner of Reddit.
I guess I'm not trying to pick a side. I'm just simply saying if we have data that says that when they pull the dating metrics from these dating apps, which unfortunately a lot of people are using dating apps these days, when they pull the metrics that they're saying, just according to the numbers and the metrics, okay, don't know the context, don't know the nuances, but according to the metrics of all the ethnic groups, Black women are the least desirable of all the other ethnic groups for all other male ethnic groups. They're the least desirable. So how is it that you're saying that Black women are going to these other ethnic groups and just getting married?
Delusion.
I'm just trying to figure it out. And I've come across this woman. She don't like men. And I don't mean in a sexual sense. She just don't like men. She don't like men. She is giving misandrous. But
Klingon.
Yeah, I'll land. Cause you know, y'all already know I'll land.
But then I also think that we had this discussion about how, you know, you'll take a one-off shot in the dark and we'll think that that's common because most Black people, most people marry in their own race. The largest majority of person that dates out is actually white men. They date out more than anybody because they make more money than anybody and they got more options than anybody. So what I'm saying is that, so that's not, you know, they take a few people and then they try to make, well, you need to date out your race. Most people don't date out their race because they're not even around other races. We are very segregated as a community. I know it's changing now, but we are still very segregated. Most people date people that's in their vicinity. That's why Tiger Woods probably dated an Asian woman, even though his mother was Asian. But you usually date who you're around. But I think that these type of things, this is just bad advice from an unmarried woman. And just like I said, most of the times, the problem is that men who want to be married get married younger. Men who've been raised to get married, they come from marriage, they're not waiting till they in their late 30s, 40s. They get married right after college, 25, 26, maybe 31, 32. While their female counterparts getting a degree, having hot girl summer. Ooh, don't get married, girl. Don't get married too early. You got plenty of time, da 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 da. And so you're waiting till you're 33, 34, and most of the men that you want are married. It's very simple. And how many of those ladies have really passed on their husband? If you ask a lady, how many guys have you passed on that were good guys? Maybe two or three. Well, why you pass on it? Well, I thought I had some time. Well, I was still living my hot girl summer. Or I just didn't want to get married. And that's fine too. But when you wait so long, it just is what it is. It's not really rocket science. You got to figure it out a little bit earlier.
Yeah, no, that's real right there. Let me come to Cole real quick. Cole, no, that's not at you directly. I'm just trying to see if you see this. So for the young ladies that you know, I'm assuming you're around some young ladies around your age, or you done interacted with some.
Mhm.
Do you hear them saying this type of stuff? Like they looking at the other races because this done got this bad, or are they ready to pass up on the brothers at this point? What do you hear?
Uh, okay. I mean, I think I'm in a little bit of a different position because in
I
New
got you.
Jersey it's a little diverse.
I got you. Go ahead.
Um, so it is um like I said, it's diverse. So the women that I know that are a little younger than me, that are like 27, 28, that I've recently come to know. One that is Spanish that does have a kid. I mean, her man is black.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's
So
that. Oh, go
the
ahead. Go ahead.
Hispanic woman
Oh
is
yeah,
dating a black man.
every like I said, it's very diverse. I have seen, honestly,
Okay.
I've seen a little bit of everything, not just black men dating around the spectrum, but it's all type of mixtures, which is very interesting. Very
And Miss,
interesting. But I think because at least around this way, that integration is really happening like on a like college level, because I do see like a lot of interracial couples too that I kind of like I interact with. Like it's love is love out this way.
Okay.
um, but when it comes to like black men and some of the ladies that I do know that are still interested in black love, I mean they definitely have raised those questions. Um, and I don't know. It's some issues. I do see the narrative that some guys still don't know what they want. It's still a
Oh,
lot of
come
playing
on.
going on. It is. It's still a lot of playing going on. Um, and some men, huh? Oh, New Jersey, New Jersey.
So that New Jersey, New York area. That what you talking? That's
Yeah,
what.
yeah,
Okay. All
tri-state
right.
area. Yeah, yeah.
Tri-state. Kenyatta. Tri-state. Okay.
Cole,
Um,
how old are these women?
I mean they
Just
range. I
take
would
three.
say
Let's
like
just take three black women you know, because I know you. Just take three black women you know. Three black
mm,
women you know. How old are they?
one is 30, one is 28. I think the other ones. I think so. Two are 30, one is 28.
Do they have any children?
Mm-mm, those three don't.
They went to college.
Yep, all three.
They didn't have a college sweetheart. Well, you probably don't
I
know.
don't know. I'm like, I
Okay.
don't really know.
Yeah, she probably might that
Okay.
she might not know.
I'm like,
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, no, I do. I out this way, honestly, I don't think black women really are like they're not black men's choice. I don't know why that is though out here. I don't know, but I just can only
Oh,
go off
come
what I
on. You
see.
know you.
I don't know because we could say like, oh, they got an attitude, but unfortunately, like some Spanish women have a narrative of having an attitude, so it ain't that. So I don't know. I don't know. in
And
terms
I
of this
think, and
area,
you
I
know
don't
what?
know.
I think that's the issue too with women. Y'all, and not you, Cole, but it's like you just don't want to be honest and tell them. Like, look, your attitude is fucked up. Just like men, we're told the truth. If we sitting
Oh
up here
shit!
31, 32, and we working at McDonald's, bro, you're not gonna get a wife. Well, the one that you want if you working at McDonald's. You have to raise your income. See, men will tell men that y'all won't say, girl, get to the gym. You know, you want this type of man, but change your attitude. Your house nasty. You know, y'all won't say that. Y'all be like, well, somebody a lover. Somebody gonna do it. Instead of just saying the truth. See, men tell each other the truth. Somebody
No, you
told me the
right.
truth. They be like, Vince, you the only one with babies in your friend group. They don't want you. They want the Kappa Mark. He ain't got no
Hey,
kids.
I mean, I will
It
say,
wasn't rocket science. I wasn't a good choice. They had better choices. Y'all, ladies want to think y'all all got the same choice, and it's not true. I think if more
no.
ladies would tell these women the truth, y'all would do better. If men they don't want them, why they don't want? Because they had a bad attitude. Why they ain't want me? Because I had kids. I don't care how
I
good I look. I don't care how charming I was. They could date Kappa Mark and Q Dog Quay. They ain't want to bring. They ain't want to bring. Yeah, you nice and everything, but I can't bring you to my daddy out in Palmer Woods. And the daddy, he got 2 kids at 22. This the man that I done sent you to UAD to find. No, you gotta throw him back. We try again.
Mm.
It's just the truth.
Okay, that's real right there. I see everybody that came off mute now. Whoever talked first can go ahead. I see everybody that came off mute. Somebody say something. Go ahead.
Joe, you want to go first? Hey, you want me to go first?
Damn. No, I go. That's the first. Yeah, I go first.
Go ahead, Joe.
Go ahead, Joe.
I'm just
Go
hanging back,
ahead,
so
Joe. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Joe.
not much to say other than everything she said was projection. Um, Black men don't commit, and we don't want to get married. And when I grew up, that wasn't even the case. Even some of the hood dudes that I knew and grew up with, even they wanted to get married to black women. But something that we found out as we got into our 20s is like we don't think they want to be with us. I
Mm.
had to be pulled away, kicking and screaming. Like I had friends telling me, "Man, you got to start looking to Latinas, looking to these white girls." I'm like, "Nah, man, I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep. There's got to be something there, like a needle in a haystack." No, after 5 years, I said, "Okay, you know what? I was forced to try something different." Went to Miami, well, not Miami, but Florida, uh, some place out there in the boondocks, and was treated in a way by these Latinas that I didn't even expect. Came back home and told everybody else, like, yeah, they just smiled and said, "Yep." I said, "Ah." And so, but it's not that we necessarily go out of our way to look for other races of women or other ethnicities to marry because we have any animosity towards black women. It's that we learn over time from our experiences that they have some level of animosity towards us. And so when they do get married to these black women to other races, it's because they want to be. So it's they're saying that we don't want something that we actually do want with them. But in reality, it's them not wanting that with us, which is marriage, which is fine. But it's kind of like, well, just it's okay. Hey, you got your preference. You want the white dude, you want Jose, you want that's cool. But our first choice actually is black women. For a black woman, the mistreatment that I got and the dates that I went on, it blows my mind the night and day difference between them and almost all, not almost, every single race of women that I've dated outside of American black women. Um, and it's like it's still actually kind of makes me a little sad when I think about it. I'm like, damn, why does it have to be that way? And every time I try to go back and say, let me try, man, y'all doing it again. And sometimes even they mean well, they try not to do it. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna mistreat you, and then they do something crazy. Like they try to pick fights. I'm like, I'm a grown man. What are you doing? But you go to another race of women and they're very submissive, they're feminine. I'm like, what is hey, I can't go back. And so that's the conclusion that a lot of black men come to. They're forced to go outside of the race. And fortunately, there's a lot of women outside of our race that actually like us and want to
You
marry
up
us.
next, Cole.
So we're forced to go outside and they're like, yeah, we want you. It's like, that's great. And but with black women, unfortunately, they might get married to some of these other races and they may not get treated as nowhere near as well. They're not as desirable as say we are if we go outside of our race. So it's kind of like us who don't want to, we get treated better outside of a race. But those who don't want anything to do with their race in terms of us, they get treated worse. So that's the impasse there. And um, I don't know what that's about, but I guess that is what it is. That's it.
Okay, appreciate that. Go ahead, Cole. Then we'll come to beatboxer. Go ahead, Cole.
Um, my thoughts on some of the aspects that's just said I could be wrong, but
Go ahead. We listen.
I think given some recent events and discussions that I've had surrounding this topic, I think that um some men, when it comes to saying certain women or black women have an attitude, I think it's translating to they basically don't know how to be quiet. And
The woman don't know how to be quiet.
uh-huh.
Okay, I got you. Go ahead.
In relate jeez. In,
That's beatboxing. Don't
oh
pay him no
God.
attention. Go ahead.
Oh God. In, in relation to some other cultures. And I think more specifically what it is translating to is some women may not question certain things so much or as much as black women do. And I think some of that is translating that some women might be difficult.
Interesting.
I'm only asking or saying this based off of recent honest discussions, and what was said to me was that, well, it was me specifically, that I don't know how to be quiet and I don't know how to shut up. And I said, is it I did. I was like, so let's talk about it. I'm like, is it the tone, or is it the question that I'm asking, or is it how many questions that I'm asking? And basically what the person said was somebody that he interacted with don't talk. I said, well, what does that mean? And he said she don't talk. I was like, so she just sit there and just let you do and say whatever and don't question it. Pretty much. And I'm like, if that's the standard that we're talking about now, it logically does not make any sense for me in my
Can I?
life.
I'll explain it to you.
Please do.
I'm holding the baby, so I can't come on camera. I
I
think
got you. Go ahead.
it's a trust issue. The men that you're talking about, they don't need a lot of questioning. They can handle it. So I think the problem is our women have been raised, and men too, they've been raised not to really trust a man's judgment. So I have to ask, well, what is this? When is that? When you gonna do that? Why is this? No, if you trust me as a man, then you don't need to ask me no questions. For instance, my wife don't really ask me a whole lot of questions because she trusts my judgment. So when I say something, it's okay. It
So
ain't
I
no
get
win because I've proven that I've earned her trust and I've earned that responsibility. So I think a lot of times some of these ladies pick men that can't lead and
hmm
they're waiting for them to lead instead of picking a man that shows you he can lead from the beginning.
okay. I had a follow-up question for you. Now, but if your wife did question you, would you interpret it as her being disrespectful?
No.
Okay.
Hmm.
Because that was the other part that feedback that I was given. That too much questioning was like, is disrespectful. And I'm like, but how? If obviously there's
Well,
probably a lack of communication or trust.
too much question is because the thing about it is if I say we're gonna do this, this is what we're gonna do. In certain things, of course. I'm not saying I'm a dictator, but certain things she trusts my judgment. She doesn't question it because I've proven that I can lead. So I understand what they're saying, but then you also have some women that want to compete with a man. I can do it better than you. I can, I think I'm smarter than you. And some of them are. You need to get you a smarter man. It's all in your picking. If you get a goofball, he gonna be goofy. But the men that y'all say that y'all want, they're men. They're leaders. You can't have two CEOs. You got one CEO, and then you got the workers. And see, that's what I mean too. If you're gonna get with these type of men, you're gonna have to be the worker. But you want to be the boss too. It only can be one boss.
Okay, I hear that. Let me come up to Coco. I saw it come off. Go ahead, Coco.
I have a two-parter question. One is based off of what Vince just said, and the other is a slightly different question. I hope y'all will entertain that I was thinking about earlier. The first question I was going to say, and I don't know if there's a short answer because I do have a follow-up question, but it is, are we talking about questioning in the form of a marriage where this is a wife asking questions or questioning, or are we talking about questioning in the form of that's my boyfriend or that's my friend? Or because I do think that that's different. I think that while I still believe that men and women should audition to be partner, to be husband and wife before they're husband and wife, I do think that a level that should definitely exist in your courting, right? However, I do think there needs to be boundaries because that person is not your wife yet, and that man is not your husband yet. So I do think that there should be some things that are left for marriage because that's a different level of commitment that you're making to that person. So when we say questioning, right, are we talking about, I know, Vince, you're talking about Remy, obviously that's your wife, but are we talking about what does that look like in we're dating to get to know each other, we're dating, we're courting to see where this is going type of scenario?
Well, I would think that the question would probably be more appropriate for just in a marriage context because that's what the last video was about. I'm sure.
No, she gave this example. She gave this example based off somebody she's interacting with. So essentially, this is taking place pre-marriage, right? So this is just before that. So this guy, just to make sure I'm understanding you right, Cole, this guy basically told her, she don't know how to be quiet.
Yep,
that's basically what it sounds like he told her. Now I don't know if my man was, if he's looking at her as a, you have to fill me in on that, Cole, but I don't know if he's looking at you as a future wife or y'all were just having a casual conversation, or he was just checking your temperature or what. But basically, he was kind of giving her the black women don't know how to be quiet when it's time to be quiet type of speech. That's what it sounds like. Is that right?
He said black American women don't know how to be quiet.
Okay, very specific. That's what I found to be true. He did it in a more diplomatic way because you're a black woman. I think if you was talking to a black man, it would be much more. They don't know how to keep their damn mouth shut. But so he did the right thing. You got a glimpse into, but in terms of the raw feeling, you're not going to probably feel that or see it. Which, especially in a work study, you shouldn't have to see it. But in a barbershop. Man, this black beef, man, I can't believe she did that to me. I had to go. I'm just being honest.
Before we go too deep,
hold your brakes. That's the truth.
The question was, right, what level of questioning is appropriate, and are we talking about when is it appropriate, right? If we're saying she's just they're dating and getting to know each other, right? If I'm doing that, then I might have some questions because this might be me trying to get a sense of how you think. I don't know. I'm asking, and I know that I don't have all the context. I get that, but I'm just saying how, as a woman, like, how do you look at this, right? Should you be looking at it like, I just shouldn't ever have to, I should never question this man, even if we're getting to know each other. I don't know him on that level yet. Because I feel like some of this is kind of bleeding over into the married couple, or at least heading in that direction type of privilege. And not so much, I'm just trying to get to know you, dating you type of, I'm trying to understand where this falls. Like, where does this fall, right? Like, does it fall in what category does it fall in?
Let me break
I'll
this
give you an example.
this straightforward right here. I can hear what's going on. So let me go on and break this on down. So my man is laying the groundwork that women don't know how to control their mouth and basically stay in their place. That's what I'm hearing. That's all. It sounds like that's all my man is saying, and that applies in friend level, just getting to know you. That applies in marriage level and all of that. So let me go ahead and pose the question to the panel. Yeah, let me go and pose the question. Why is that the case? Yeah, why does a brother have to get all of this kickback, all this mouth, as some people like to say, all this lip? Why do the brothers got to get this? Because I know earlier the young lady said, for the ladies who want to get married, you can go out here and get you a Brad and you'll be married. But as we understand, because we've seen the examples, Brad don't get this type of lip. Yeah, but they gonna get this lip. So why is that the case? That's what my man, going off Cole's context, that's what I get, that my man was where he was coming from. Let's say, Cole, correct me if I'm wrong.
That's it.
You bleeding into my second question. You bleeding into my second question, sir.
Go ahead.
So my second question was this. Do you guys believe, to a certain extent, and I'm piggybacking off of this comment here, do y'all believe to a certain extent that when we date other ethnicities, that there is a different level of treatment that we give? And do we temper things? Do we alter things? Do we soften things? I'm asking because this is my stance on it, right? Obviously, I only dated Black men, but this is my stance on it, okay? I personally do believe that there is some truth to this narrative here, that some of these women, when they do decide to date outside of their culture, and I mean the person ain't brown at all. They not brown. They're not brown. I'm not talking about he not Black American, but he Nigerian or he Ghanaian or whatever. I'm not talking about that. I ain't talking about that. Because he's still brown. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when some of these Black women decide to go and date white men or Asian men, right? Are y'all really being 100% yourself, completely unadulterated you? I don't believe you are. I don't believe for 1 second that you standing in front of that Asian man, rolling your neck, rolling your eyes, and putting your finger in his face. I do not for 1 second see y'all doing that. I do not for one. You cannot but make me believe it. You have to show me candid video of this before I would believe it. I do not believe for 1 second y'all standing in that Asian man's face, popping your neck off, period, with your finger in his face. Not 1 second. You could not pay me to believe that. I don't believe it.
But Coco, let me say something. Let me say something right quick. I think that you get certain attitudes from certain women. Like, I'm gonna take, for instance, my mother, who's dead and gone to heaven, so I can talk about her. She was a pistol. My mother was the epitome of the angry Black woman. But she dated a married man for almost 18 years. And when he came around, I was like, where did my mother go? She was so sweet. She cooked this man's food. She was, oh, you need this, you need that. Let me get you a cold drink of water. But he was bringing them bands over. And she got a different side of him. My mother was the sweetest. Even with me, my mother was sweet. But to the average man, to the average black man, she was. You didn't want to see my mother coming. It was what it was. So I think a lot of the neck rolling and a lot of the attitude comes with they know that they can do that with the type of man that they doing it with. Some women will get the fucking check because that man will put you in check. Look, you ain't gonna talk to me like that. Shut the fuck up, and they shut the fuck up. But if they know they can keep rolling their neck, they gonna keep rolling it. So I think that certain people just bring certain things out of you. I think you respect what's respected. So I think that they might respect these other men, but I know a very many mixed race couple, and she's the same. She's the same, but he might like that.
Okay.
Sassiness that they be more scared than black men. Some of them. Oh man, I can't. No man, I gotta get home. Well, that's the way y'all get down. So
Right.
I think certain men bring certain things out of certain women, just like certain women bring certain things out of men.
Okay. Appreciate that right there. B-Box, I'm gonna let you rock. Go ahead, man.
Cool. I will say what Vince said. I do agree. To Coco's question, a lot of women don't really change their stripes when they're with other people. They can hide it for a little bit, but not forever. And like Vince said, that some white guys are with that, whatever that is, that talking and rolling the necks and it ain't just white men. Anyway. But to go back to like the video, it's crazy. Do y'all know that more black men are married than black women? Do y'all know that? So when I hear black women say that, I'm like, there's damn near 40% of black men married. And it's like 26 something. Like it's something, I think Bowling Green came out with a study like a year ago. So it's like there's a big gap.
Yeah.
So when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, that's not. And also, most black men are married to black women. Now, if we want to talk about my generation, it's like 40. It's creeping up. So that's a conversation. That's a projection that says it's probably going to be more likely than not than black men will be dating outside their race. It probably will look like what is in I think the UK. Jared, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think about 50 to 55% of black men are dating or married outside their race. It's like damn near half. So these, I always go back to the other stat. It's mostly about children being born out of wedlock. Some of it's being women being overweight. Those are like the two things you can just see. Like if you look like a weeble wobble, men are not going to marry you. Like, I'm sorry. Like there's certain things that's not going to happen. You have children, it's going to be really hard for a man to say, I want to marry a woman. But I'm just saying, if you look like a walrus, it's really hard. It's just really, I'm just saying. So no matter what the race is, to be honest, it's no matter, men are like, we're not going to do that. Kids are a prime example, but I think we're talking about something that's a little more like you can't put your finger on it, but you do hear black men complaining about the attitude piece. And I don't even know how you fix that other than I think black men kind of need to nut up a little bit and kind of take a little charge of that aspect.
So you mean like deal with it?
No. I don't mean
he's not saying deal with it.
I'm not saying deal with it. When it happens to you, you need to respond in kind. And if they say, "Oh, you're sassy," then you're sassy. Fine.
Hold on, B-Box. So let me ask you this question to that, because see, this, I think that's part of the issue. So I know we're saying that when that happens, as the black man, you need to put that in check.
Right.
But I think the original question is why is that happening? Yeah. So why is it when you get around the opposite sex that looks like you, that comes from comes from similar conditions that you come from, Why does that have to be the case? Like, why does it have to come with the lip and the talk back and the lack of trust? Like, you just met me. So like, why do I got to get this package of stuff just because we look alike? Like, we really got to address that. Like, why is that happening? Like, because I think that's more the issue. Because to Coco's point, we know that there's situations that exist that when this same young lady gets a man from another race, he don't get that. He gets her Sunday's best. If she wants to give him the nice, she don't want to roll the neck. She don't want to. I'll go there. She don't want to be too hood with it. She don't want to be too ghetto with it. She want to impress his family. She want to put on a presentation. But when the brother is the subject, then he got to get the other thing. And I'm like, why is that happening? Like, why? Go ahead, Coco.
Can I add some context before I want to hear your answer, Basa, but then I want to add some context. This is where I'm going. Well, this is where I get this from, right? We did a show a few weeks back where a young woman, we reacted to a Lapeef clip where she was saying that Black women don't respect Black men because every other ethnicity is above Black men and Black men are on the bottom. Now, she didn't talk about how Black women are right next to these Black men on the bottom, but I digress. She literally said that Black men are on the bottom. And so we don't respect y'all because nobody respects y'all, right? This is why I'm willing to say that I do not believe for 1 second that they are not watering themselves down to some degree. Now, maybe for some women, it looks a little different. For others, it looks a little different. But this is why I say that. Because there is a very apparent level of disrespect between Black men and Black women in general, right? But that's not how they look at these other men. They do not have a level of animosity or disrespect towards these other men just because. But they do for Black men just because. So the way you interact with the Black men as a Black woman, if you have a low grade level of disrespect, they're going to get that. They're going to feel that. They're going to hear it. It's going to come across in a way that you communicate and deal with them. But if you respect someone, even if you get an attitude with them because they did something you didn't like, you respect that person. So there's a certain level you're not going to go to because of your respect for that person, period. So I am going to stand on what I said. These women are not acting the same way and treating these non-Black American men the way that they are treating Black men. If they are not acting the same way and treating them the same way, then they are different with these men. Right. They are giving them different treatment.
I would like to add briefly, real quick, to B-Boxer first, about basically we need to man up and handle, not handle, you not handle, it's taking control or taking charge, basically matching their aggression or exceeding it is what to expect that.
That's not what I'm saying.
But I know that's not what you're saying, but when you say Black men need to man up when dealing with Black women, I don't know how else myself or any Black man would take it. And hearing that, okay, so in order to do that, that means I got to raise my voice and fight fire with fire to some extent in order to get.
No. That's not what I'm saying. Here's the thing. I'll be very quick with it, Joe, because I'll answer Coco's question. And of course, men and Black men in particular, we can't complain about we want to be leaders and all that, right? And then we mad when our counterpart is treating us a certain way, right? I'm a Black man with a white woman. You don't have to raise your voice with nobody. There's certain things you got to do to have. I command respect. I don't dictate it. I'm not telling my wife to respect me. I command it, right? Some of y'all men, I'm not saying them on the panel. Y'all do not command any respect. So That's really the issue. I agree with some things that black women say. I agree with some of it. There's some of us who are not doing what we're supposed to do. And I'm with it. So it's not coming from nowhere. And when you deal with it, when a woman's disrespecting you, you don't have to raise your voice at her. You don't have to start saying, I'm gonna beat you up. Yeah, I don't do none of that. But you're saying I'm not gonna deal with. This is the line that you can't cross, and that's just what it is. Too many of us who are black men are dealing with it. That's what I'm talking about. Too many of us are with black women who disrespect us on a daily basis.
Yep.
And that's what I'm talking about. You don't have to fight her. You have to yell at her. None of that. None of that. Don't accept it. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. So, just real quick, that makes sense. And I agree. I mean, I could tell a story
Get
recently
JR
about a
into
man.
this, man. Go ahead.
Recently about a man who I was working with, who hired me to put up some lights, some Christmas lights, whatever. He went, talked to a lady who wasn't happy with the lights that he put up. Hello?
No, that's coming from Vince. I'll mute. Yeah, he on mute. Go ahead, Joe. And JR up next.
I'm standing next to him. He's having an argument match with this woman, back and forth, back and forth. No one's winning. He walks away mad. I'm not putting up that BITC's lights. Forget her. I stick around. And then she starts to do to me what she did to him. But immediately she calmed down. Now, to your point, B-Box, I agree. It's something I never raised my voice no louder than I'm talking right now. I just looked at her. I just stared at her. And then she immediately went from 10 down to 5, down to 2, down to 1. So you're right in the sense that a lot of men take disrespect from women because there's something about that man that they don't respect. This is the same woman that treated me totally different personality, totally different experience. I couldn't even believe it. So, and I think that's kind of like a chameleon-like personality. I think women just like that in general. They're going to treat the CEO differently, and they come home and treat their husband differently. But the husband won't never see the difference. So that's that one thing I agree. How the men fix that, that's on them. I will say that it seems to be more prevalent amongst black women who dishes out that level of disrespect. And that same man who's been disrespected by a black woman can go outside his race and not be disrespected at all or not nearly as much. So there is a difference in terms of how, I guess, the predisposition of the woman or culture which you grew up. And secondly, to Chloe's point, we're trying to figure out like where does this come from? This inherent disrespect for black men, but this great respect for men outside their race, particularly white men, lighter skin tone men. I did some research because I was just curious, and I believe it goes back almost as far as probably shortly after slavery day. I know that there was Frederick Douglass. He had issues with getting black women on the side of getting the black man to get the vote, but from my research, they sided with the white women who were fighting to get women's rights and getting the vote. So the black women at that time fought for to get the woman to vote first, as opposed to siding with the black man so that they get to vote first. But the black men at the time, they were thinking, Frederick Douglass, hey, you bond, you connect with us, we can rise above, we can be together. So even black men at that time had this idea, this fantasy that, oh, these are women that we suffer with, that we've been in the fields with. So of course they're going to side with us. So imagine their shock and surprise when they found the animosity towards them and how quickly. And we see that recent example with just like the feminist rights movement, and how typically white women will use black women and then for their particular purposes. And then once they get what they want in the law system, white women say, we don't need you anymore. We're good. And then the black women are like, what's going on? So this has been historical. Now I can't even tell you what's going on beyond that. All I know that's kind of like where I stopped. And I was like, I'm not even interested in learning anymore. So it seems to be a cultural thing. It's always been a thing. But it's always been black men fighting to stay with the black woman and make it work. And black women historically have been like, well, we're going to do our own thing. We're going to fight to separate ourselves from black men because we want to associate with this, I would say, white authority, white women, white men. And black men at the time, we just didn't have that mentality. We wanted to separate from white men. but black women typically wanted to stay with the white man. So I think that's probably where a lot of the attraction to the other race in this country comes from. And why that is, probably somewhere in the time of slavery, maybe black women felt abandoned by black men. Like someone else said earlier, they felt weaker. You know, the black men, we can't trust them to stand up against them. So we don't want to bond with. I don't really know, but I know that much I do know is that's kind of like where it the foundation for where we are now, some 300 years later.
Okay. I appreciate that right there. Let me let JR rock. I know JR been waiting for a minute. Then I'm gonna come to Herschel. Go ahead, JR. It's on you, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say yes. Obviously, some great points have been made there, but also I'm pretty sure in America, right, white men don't earn the most. In America, I'm pretty sure it's Asian men and Asian women leave or marry out the most of all the women. So they're not even married to the richest men in America. Now, black men don't sit at the bottom, I'm pretty sure, in America of making the most, right? Yet somehow people who are, I'd say, below black men in making money somehow get on with their women when it comes to the finances. Somebody figure it out, right? But yeah, going on to beatbox this point about black men, some black men failing and whatnot. I agree with that, you know, of course. Not every black man is you know, doing great or whatever it is. There's men that are failing as well. So it'd be disingenuous to say all black men are doing great. So yeah, I agree with that point that black men, yeah, still level up as men, but as a group, yeah, we still can do better, right? But in terms of the relationship and the disrespect, like I said, in America, there's a certain group or certain demographic that make less than black men, but they get the respect. Now, if you remember about a couple of weeks back or wherever it was, you know, our great uncle sat down here at the right hand side on the bottom corner, forgot his name, and he basically said, basically in other words, they charged up their daughters to disrespect the black men of today. The black men that ain't really done nothing to the black women of today, you know. But somehow, the black men of today are suffering in the hands of black women today, you know. And yeah, the disrespect part, yeah, you'll get that from every woman. It's not just black women, right? Because like I said, it's easy to say that black women are obviously the most disrespectful, whatever it is, because that's who we encounter every day. Because I'll give another example. White men were the first men to leave their women. And black men, we've always been the last to follow. We've never been the first. We've always been the last. Why? Because we've always been loyal to our black women. Now, the sad part is that black women have betrayed black men. That's just the reality of it. But that's not a conversation that people want to have, because I think Miss Coco highlighted it where she said what she said about the clip that we watched previously.
Oh, come on.
And it's just life, and black men just got to choose how to deal with it. And if you remember when, you know, our great uncle said what he said, I said the exact same point that you said, you know, that you lot are making, that why should we have to fight, Mr. Quay? Why? That's all we're asking. And I'm saying that, hey, we've seen the wrong of, you know, our dads, uncles, whatever it is, and we just want to correct it, but I just want to get along. Why should we fight? You're carrying all this trauma from, you know, the men in your families or whether it's or black men, whatever it is, and all we're saying is we want to correct that and make it right, but somehow there's resistance. What else are we supposed to do about that? I don't understand. Because like I said, I think somebody else highlighted as well, black men have remained loyal to black women.
That's real. Appreciate that right there, JR. Herschel, it's on you, man. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I just wanted to share just briefly another aspect that Joe kind of touched a little bit. I was going to say that, each and every one of us, we have what's called, cell memory, and then our DNA and our genealogy. So a lot of the stuff, again, that we do is like, we have the blood and the genes and the DNA of our great, 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 whoever, you know what I'm saying? And during those times, early on, like from the times when we were coming, well, when they say we were coming over from the boats or whatever, and all that type of stuff with the slavery stuff, during that time, there was a strong agenda of emasculating the men and splitting us up, putting us against each other, putting the men against each other, and then especially putting the males and the females against each other, and making the guys, the men, look like less than men. Right. And so it's a generational thing. And so as now in the future, again, we have that in us, you know what I'm saying, where, a lot of people, there are certain individuals, like, say, for example, like maybe most of us on the panel, we're aware of these things, and we can say, okay, we could be part of the change or part of improving, but there are a lot of other people in the population that are more like sheep, you know what I'm saying, where they don't grow, they don't evolve, they don't learn, they don't look at that as a problem, they don't try to fix it, they just go along with it because that's all they were, just from birth, that's just what they were born to know, and they don't even realize they're doing it, they don't even know they're doing it. So that's something, that's another little brief aspect to bring in, like on a science level or something, but that's something we can't dismiss.
Okay. Yeah, no, we appreciate that, man. That makes sense. All right, let me man, y'all also sent me some nonsense too. I'm gonna run 2 nonsense videos back to back because they very similar. I'm gonna see what y'all got to say about this.
So I had somebody that asked to take me on a date, right? And I was telling him, well, instead of taking me on a date, the same money that you gonna use towards the date, you can help me buy my part for my car. My car is still drivable, but I need like a crankshaft or a camshaft, and it's like $200. And I was like, well, whatever money that you was gonna use towards the date, you can help me put the money towards buying the part. And I was like, I'll come up with the rest, like, you ain't got to give me the whole thing. Now, this part that I need, it keeps my car from cranking. Like I might have to try like 2 times and then it crank, but it don't crank right up. But this part that I need, it'll help it crank right up. So he gonna say that's beneficial to me, but the date is beneficial to you, right? The fuck?
Lord have mercy.
Well, I got one more.
Fellas, let me help y'all out. You're trying to get a girl. The worst thing you could ever do is ask a girl, can we go get a drink? Do we look thirsty? Okay, now that that's cleared up. Then after the drink don't work, do you want to go get dinner? Do I look hungry? Okay, we are tired. And I'm speaking for myself. I don't know about nobody else. I'm tired of sitting across the table with these ugly ass niggas cutting up a steak, taking the tail off the lobster, stirring up mashed potatoes, drinking a Don Repo and Panda. I'm tired. Let's try something different. You want a girl? Support her business. Book an appointment. Book a consultation. Book a facial. Buy a wig. Let's do something different. Let's do some support the business. Once you support the business and you lock in with a woman on the business aspect, I'm telling you, you got it locked in. Then next, you work into her kids. You make her kids like you.
Huh?
Once you got them 2 things down pat, a girl gonna love you for real. A girl gonna love you. I'm tired of dinners. I'm tired of dressing up. I'm tired of these fancy ass restaurants, everyday 5-star, dressing up in heels and all this shit. And I know I'm never probably gonna talk to you again, because it's like, you ain't bring no flowers, you ain't bring no card, you ain't send me no black truck, you ain't nothing. You ain't did nothing. Time is money. Support that girl business if you really trying to, get up in there. Y'all welcome.
All right. So I had to save the hot stuff to the end. Go ahead, Cole. I see you got that finger up. You get the first shot. Go ahead. Come on, mute. Go ahead.
Gentlemen, if this is what y'all dealing with, then I see why y'all have no tolerance for the shenanigans. And if that is the case, I damn sure ain't competing and dealing with this shit. So just count me out all the way out the game, stage left. I'm just gonna be single. I ain't got time for this shenanigan. I'm sorry on behalf of the women that's coming with this bullshit. Cause no.
Oh, Cole, the videos came over and I'm like, okay, I gotta
I'm
run
like,
the videos.
what?
Because I haven't seen this before. I said this is new to me. So I'm like,
Your
now we
friends
got
can
lady.
support your business. You not your what?
And why would he
So this
want to
the
buy a
female
wig?
game. This the female like this. Basically, what you tell her. This the female game. I don't know nothing. I am out of the loop. The circle, the square, the rectangle. I ain't nowhere in the vicinity.
Yeah, it's wild. I said I saw the videos and I'm like, so is this what we doing now? So now we got situations where ladies are saying, no, don't even take me on a date. Just put the money on my car or put the money into my business and all of this and get in good with my kids and all this. And I'm like, so now we don't even want to go on a date no more and get to know each other. And yeah, I'm like, what people supposed to do with that? Go ahead, Coco.
I mean, that's why the man is saying, like, that benefits you, not me. Like, he takes you on a date so that he can get to know you. How does he get to know you? By buying you a crankshaft? How does he get to know you or know if he likes you by buying a wig from you that he don't need? Why? How does he help you by paying for a facial that he don't want? Like what? Now he's supposed to go to your boutique and buy a blouse too that he don't wear? Like this, when will it stop? Like when will it stop? Y'all continue to raise the bar, right? Y'all was saying men was out here brokies, it's giving brokies, broke. So now they start taking you to nice restaurants. You know, now, you know, they taking you out. Y'all said y'all tired of restaurants, so they start taking y'all on experiences. Now you saying, I don't want to go on an experience. I don't want to go on a date anymore. I don't even want to talk to you. I don't want you to cut up a steak. I don't want you to I want to have a drink with you. I don't want to kick it with you. None of that. Just buy this transmission. I need an engine for my car. I mean, when will it stop? This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all, and D-Box didn't get a chance to answer it. Y'all really believe that she gonna tell that Asian man, even though he got the plug on the wig? Oh, he got the plug. But you mean to tell me that
wholesale and retail? Wholesale and retail.
She gonna ask him to buy her wig to support her business or to buy a crankshaft for her just so they can he can get in with her. Y'all really, come on now, y'all really believe that women is doing them other men like that? Y'all really gonna try to convince me that she telling the Caucasian man, yeah, I mean, I have an online boutique. I mean, if you really want to get in with me like that, buy a blouse, buy my booty leggings,
put it over.
You know what I mean? Come on, y'all. This is where I was going with this. I'm not saying that maybe they're turning into completely different people. I'm just simply saying they are not displaying the same character that they are with their men, with Black men.
Right.
The things that they're going to ask you guys to do, the things they're going to say to you guys, the things they're going to do, I just do not for 1 second believe that they're going to try to get away with all of that same stuff with these other men.
I feel that.
Now listen, I could be wrong. This is just my opinion, and until y'all show me the clip, I'm gonna stand on it.
Okay. Let me let Herschel rock, unless I don't want to leave him out. Then I'm gonna call. I see Joe, JR, and Joe trying to go as well. Be boss as well. Go ahead, Herschel.
Man, so like again, this stuff is deeply rooted. But I you know, the lady, you know, they obviously have been hurt and there's trauma going on. Because my thing is, if you feeling somebody, none of that stuff matter. You could go to White Castle and then eat just get some fries, and you just there with the dude, and you there with the girl, and you feeling that person. It's all good. And then the other thing I want to say is about the kids. Like, you know, she talking. This is the other problem. It's too many introducing the kids and stuff too early into this whole like relationship day. She talking about getting good with the kids. No, that's after you guys establish if you're gonna be serious or not. If you're gonna be going towards a marital thing or engagement or something, then you start talking about kids and all that stuff. I mean, you know, and it sounds like arrangements. It sounds like salespersons, car salesmen, and getting good with the kid. Like, come on, man. they clearly were hurt. And I mean, you know, it's really saddening. You know, I feel like I lost some brain cells watching both of them videos. But man,
just a few.
Well, yeah, it caught.
I almost can't even believe that the first one. I almost don't even believe I think she's making it up. She probably talking about one of her friends or something, because I don't even know who would even want to be even calling her or say, "Hey, you want to go out?" I don't know. I'm just being judgmental. I'm sorry about that, but man, goodness gracious,
you being judgmental.
Yeah, it just to your point, Herschel, it caught me off guard last seconds. You know, folks send me a lot of stuff. You know, when I'm looking at the videos, and I'm like, you know, 1 minute we talking about the fact that it's not enough dudes out here. The next minute we talking about, you know, dudes aren't approaching, dudes ain't trying to holler like they used to. But then the next minute after that, now we talking about don't take me on the date. You know what I'm saying? Get my car fixed. Or don't take me on the date. You know what I'm saying? Invest in my business. You know what I'm saying? Sign up for a consultation. And it's like, how do we go from wanting to be in a relationship to now I just want your funding? Like, that's really what it is. And it's like we can't decide if we want to be serious about relationships. We like 1 minute it's a travesty that we can't get folks together, but then the next minute it's like, well, just run your pockets. So it's like, what are we doing? And I said, I know for me, when I see these videos, you know, I know some folks, you know, be in the comments, you know, it's like, hey, you find it? Folks send me videos all the time. Yep, and I use the videos that folks send me. So when I see these videos and I get 2 of them back to back, like it's 2 videos that I got literally talking about the same thing. And I'm like, is this a thing now? Like, now we got ladies shooting, you know, shutting down dates. You know what I'm saying? And they'll take the money instead and go pay some. It's like, it's like, then I guess basically what you're telling me is forget the date. Like, you don't want to go on a date with me. You just want me to give you this money. And when it's like, that's not even dating at that point. Yeah, now we getting on the lines of, I think somebody said it, you know, the P word. Now we talking about paying for somebody's services at this point. So yeah, I'm trying to understand really where it's coming from and what is the change, and why does a woman think that going out here making a video like this is going to make a man, especially a man who's halfway decent, is going to make that man say, hey, you know, that's the woman for me right there. Like, that's not going to happen. So maybe that's why some of these dudes now is not approaching, you know, going back to the topic, what's happening to men. Maybe that's why some of these dudes is falling back saying, you know what, I'm just going to hang with my boys and we're going to play this game, or we're going to, like B-Boxer said earlier, we're going to go get this whiskey and these cigars and forget these chicks, because all they want is crankshafts, you know what I'm saying, and consultations. So yeah, I think we got to think about what we doing out here and how it's, and what the negative effects are going to be that it's going to have on the opposite sex. Yeah, if you're saying you're looking for some good dudes out here talking about crankshafts and support my business, that's not going to get you the good dude that you keep talking or keep saying that you're looking for.
Like my recent I told y'all about, when I was just trying to get to a combo to exchange numbers so we can start chatting and talking, and she told me she don't want me to pen pal. Like, what are we supposed to do? Use telepathy to learn, to get to know each other? What else are we supposed to do? So they don't even at the end of the day, they don't even know what they want. I mean, I'm not even gonna single it towards women too, but I think just the generation right now, and in the dating pool, a lot of people just don't know what they want. Even people that's been married, people been through it, and they've been hurt and they've been damaged. They don't even know what they want now because they thought they knew, and then it didn't work for them. So now they're lost. They don't know what to do.
Right. I feel that right there, man. I
So,
feel that. All right, let me Joe, you got something quick, man, because I'm gonna go ahead and take close, man. We getting up in time now, man.
I would say that all I can say is that those women, a lot of women will feel like they do. The problem is that they're not doing it the right way. They're going about it, they're short-sighted in their thinking. So they're not very bright because they're saying they want the man to buy and support by buying their products or services or whatever they're on, offering as entrepreneurs. Okay, cool. If they were smart, um, there are women who understand that a man will not only buy or support or buy your services and products, he's going to want to invest in your business to help it grow and to make it bigger than what it is. So whatever he can buy from you one time, two times, that's not really supporting your business. He's a customer. It is women that are much brighter, who think long term. Okay, if I treat this man well, if I have something to offer him, and then he's going to want to give me something in return because he knows I can be an investment. So it's a very basic biology. You have a seed, you plant it in the womb, and it grows. So we feel like we can get a return on that investment, whether it's biologically, psychologically, spiritually, or physically, or financially. And we will make that investment, but we have to come to that conclusion ourselves. A woman, if she was smart, would make herself not like that, not demanding, not you better do this, you better do that, but inviting that man in and then seeing the value that he can get in return by investing in her to begin with. So it goes above and beyond buying a few trinkets here and there in a wig or two. It goes into him wanting to invest and buy wigs so you can then sell it in multitudes to other people by supporting you in that way. But they're not, so to one degree, I agree with them. Like, okay, cool. And, it's not just lovey-dovey. I get it. Everyone wants to make a living. You want to be successful and you want a man to help you do that. But if you're coming and demanding he's doing these things, that's already coming with a masculine frame and position. You're telling the man what he better do, what he better not do. And you're not going to get what you really want. So, I don't know. That's it.
Okay, appreciate that right there, Joe. We're gonna take some closing and get up out of here, man. Let's see. We done went for a little stretch. Let me go across the top and the bottom, and we gone. Coco, you want to say anything before we get out of here?
Yeah, trying to stay on the topic of what is happening to men. I think it's difficult to have this conversation without factoring in women in some way. I think that we don't understand that as much as we are fighting with each other, going back and forth with each other, as much animosity that we may have in our community when it comes to our relationship with each other, we are connected in a way that there's no way for us to disconnect. Like it just doesn't work that way. We are connected. And it's so interesting because we're always trying to separate the two, but it's not. It's a spiritual thing. There's just no way we are connected, right? Because if we talk about what's happening to the men, well, it could go on and on and on. I could say something like, well, a lot of our young men are being raised by single women. That's not attacking them, by the way. That is not attacking them. It's simply saying that is a fact. And so because they are missing that male mentorship, it does have an impact on, how they turn out, the decisions that they may make, the type of personalities that they may develop, it just does. I could say the same thing on the other side with young girls because they also need their father's, influence over their lives. There's deficiencies that happen there. So we're so connected that even when we try to have these conversations like we had last week, you can't help but bring in the other party, right? We are not doing this by ourselves. Women are not getting pregnant alone. And I know it might be the same small percentage of men, I get it, but they're not getting pregnant alone. Any issue that we have, if you trace the root, we're all intertwined and interconnected some kind of way. So to really have these conversations genuinely, then both parties have to come to the table and understand that there's a side of accountability that each has to take. Okay. So if we say what's happening to men, we have to look at, well, what part does women play? And if we ask the question, what's happening to women, we have to say, well, is there anything that men have to own about the state, the mindset of our women today? Is there nothing that men have to own, right? Or is it all just the women, right? And I think we can agree that it's impossible to say that these women have gotten here completely and totally all on their own with no male influence at all. So I think that we have to, I'm with having the conversations. I love it. But I think we have to come to the table and be honest and not be triggered and not get in our feelings about it, because that's the only way we're actually going to come up with any type of lasting solutions. If you want to know what happens, I think the first thing to do is to look at yourself and just make sure you haven't played a part in anything. And if there's any adjustments that you need to make, you do that, because you can really only control yourself in any situation, in any scenario. But I think that we talked about a lot of different factors and how maybe some of the young men have arrived at the mindsets that they're at. So, now that we know what the issues are, let's just try to, be positive influences in the lives of some of these young men. That's what they need. That's what they need the most. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that these conversations reach them.
Cool. No, I appreciate that right there. B-Box, it's on you, man.
Yeah, man, this was a great this was a great discussion today. I think ultimately for me, is that men, black men especially, we even referencing those last two videos, the reason why those ladies are asking those questions is because there's black men who've capitulated to doing that.
Right.
And so for me, the last thing I said is that black men really need to stand up and be respected, meaning do not just nut up a little bit, guys. Seriously. I'm serious about this. Some of this stuff is happening because black men are allowing it. Y'all claim to want to be leaders. You claim y'all want to have strong families and all that. Sometimes you're going to have to take some L's. Sometimes that means sometimes it's going to be lonely. Sometimes there's going to be women who aren't going to like you. But y'all have to, we as a group, when I'm talking about doing better, I'm not talking about money and all that. I'm talking about accepting behavior. We see this all the time. You see black men all the time, the women acting crazy on them. They're just looking sheepish and not doing nothing, looking at everybody else looking like it's crazy. Men, black men, do better, please. Seriously.
Thanks.
Do better. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel about it. I don't care what the women are doing. If you're accepting it, then you're the problem. So smoke some whiskey, cigars, other stuff. It's so much better than dealing with disrespect. It really is.
That's real, man. I appreciate that closeout, man. Cole, so you want to say anything before we get out of there? Come off mute.
In relation to the topic, what is happening to black men, I think they have gone a little silent on some of these issues, and it could be because they're kind of frustrated and tired of dealing with it. But my ask and charge would be, instead of kind of give it in and give it up, just try to communicate a little bit. So that we can begin to address these issues. Like, nothing is going to get solved if both parties are silent. Somebody has to communicate, and that's how we can kind of start to really tackle some of these issues.
Facts. Okay, appreciate that closeout, Cole. Herschel, it's on you, man. You want to say anything before we get out of here, brother?
Yeah. Kind of like supporting a little bit what Beatboxer was saying. I was gonna say this. I was gonna say like it starts in the home. So I think as far as with the men, these fathers, if you're involved in your son's life, you have a kid, you have a son, you know, it starts there. You gotta train them a certain way. You gotta, rear them up early so they can know what to look out for, how to be treated. And then the moms, the mothers, the women, you gotta be examples. You gotta be examples. Like, if they got moms in the homes saying all that same stuff, they're gonna think that's the norm. They're gonna think that's what it is. So it starts again. A lot of stuff that we deal with, it starts in those four walls, or whatever you want to call it. It starts in the home. What's in that, in that setting. So that's what we gotta do. As far as the men gotta man up and do better, we gotta have men to teach them how to man up.
That's real. That's real right there. Yeah, no, the men definitely play a key in all of this. We're gonna keep it real. All right, cool. Appreciate that closeout, Hirsch. JR, you want to say anything before we get out of here, man?
Yeah, black women practice emotional embezzlement. Just get whatever they want in life. Thank you for having me on and chopping up with the panel.
Man, hold on, man.
Of course, he drops a nuke before when we have to leave.
Man, that's what I'm like. How you just gonna come on here? Hold on, let me get my sound. Wait a minute.
Oh, come on.
So how you gonna do that, JR?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm single now, so, I'm a white girl left me, so I'm kind of consider if to go back home, circle the block, back to Black Queen, and get played,
Queen mama.
So I'm kind of pondering that, so yeah.
No, you don't do that. You do not do that. You do not circle back after dealing with that experience, sir. You decided to leave. So, we lock the door until you fully heal, and then you can come back.
Nah, as a black man, you go wherever you want it.
Nah, that is the problem. Didn't we just say we was being solution oriented? What did you do it?
Man, we in close. Okay, we in close out. This ain't even supposed to be happening right now. All right, JR, you. All right, JR say he good. All right, let me come over to Joe. We ain't about to do that and close out. Go ahead, Joe. We up out of here as soon as you out. Go ahead, man.
I endorse that message. Oh, okay. So what is happening? I'm convinced that it is simply an attack on testosterone in every way, shape, and form. When I saw the studies from years, decades back in the 60s, not even that long ago, and how it's basically been cut in half, almost by a third, now, like, wait, what happened between then and now? But we all recognize that it was different then. You got the Stallone movies, you got the Arnold Schwarzenegger, it was some aggression, you had real wrestling, and then things started switching up. And our society started changing up, and it seems to correlate with the feminizing of men today and the lack of testosterone. So I believe that if men fix that problem, there are issues with women, with life, finances, whatever you name it, it fixes and solves itself in a lot of ways. Even your relationship with God. And as B-Boxers say, we gotta nut up. And that simply means to have balls, man. A lot of men don't have the balls because they're constantly draining their balls. Constantly. So that is a product of lust. And lust is a terrible, terrible thing. I know so personally. My life personally changed when I started practicing sexual discipline. And a lot of men don't practice it, but it's also because they're not encouraged to do so. Go out there and sow your wild oats. Just waste your seed all day, every day until you just get out your system, literally.
Right.
And then you have nothing to show for it. You planted your seed on the barren ground, onto concrete land, and there's nothing that's been produced from it. Not a business, not your relationship with God, not a relationship that's healthy and sustainable. So it all stems from man having this testosterone attacked and him agreeing to that attack through all kinds of forces. And we know that pornography is one. What's the word? Fornication, a lot of it. It's not enough to have one girlfriend. I got to have a rotation. So these are things that really causes that switch that we have today, and that's why you have a lot of that disrespect that men deal with women. Why are women disrespecting me? Well, your presence alone it can't be disrespected if you have that something within you, that what they call the spark. But it's not something you can manufacture or produce on your own. You can't act or pretend to be that. It's something that you just are. It's something that you is, and they can sense it, and they don't even know what it is. But it's because men don't even know their own power, so they let their power go. That's the issue. But that's like more esoteric conversations. I could never say nothing like this anywhere else because they'll mean it. No, it's the woman's fault. It's that. It's that. I said, sir, when's the last time you released yourself into a dirty side? They ain't got nothing to do with it. Dang. All right. Yeah, you're right. Has nothing to do with it. I'll land on that.
Okay, no, I appreciate that close out right there, Joe. But man, shout out to my panel. Shout out to Coco, Beatboxer, Herschel, JR, Cole, Joe. Appreciate y'all holding me down. My guy Vince is on here as well. Appreciate y'all holding me down on the panel, man. Great conversation. Great points brought out. I'll just say this. I think that we are struggling to respect and care for each other right now. If I don't feel like the attraction is the same that we used to have for each other, and we got to figure out how to get that back. We got to figure out how to get that back. Killing our social interactions, avoiding our social interactions, running away from rejection. That's not the answer. That's not going to get us together. Being scared when you go to, shoot your shot, you're going to get shot down. Okay, well, you get shot down, you get back in the game and you do what you do. The same thing goes for the ladies on the flip side. Ladies, it's not a bad thing to let the dudes know that you're interested. It's not a bad thing to make yourself accessible, especially for a guy who shows you that he coming correct. There's nothing wrong with that. So I think we just got to get back to adapting some of our old school concepts that are tried and true. We try to evolve everything, and everything, to be honest, everything is not meant to be evolved. Some things we need to hold on to because they work and they're there for a reason. So we got to keep that in mind. But man, shout out to everybody in the comments, man. This is Kandid Konvos. We do this show every Wednesday night. We go live every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, Facebook and YouTube. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe, hit that like button. Like I said, help us in the algorithm, and hit that share. We want to get these conversations out to as many of our people as possible so we can move us in a better direction. But man, once again, shout out to my panel, man. And with that being said, everybody have an awesome night. We're going to catch y'all next Wednesday.